Hi, I'm Cherie Dorfman and I'm a master gardener. I've been a master gardener since 2001, so that's quite some time. And today I'm going to show you one way, I think a very easy way, to propagate your shrubs. Now, I first learned to do this on azaleas, and I will show you how to do that as well. And you can apply this to almost any woody shrub. These are the tools that you will need to do this, to propagate your plant. First of all, you'll need something to dig and to cover the soil over your stem. Then you'll need a hairpin, and that adheres the stem to the ground to make sure it has good contact. Then you need something, depending on how resistant or how heavy your stem is, to weight it down and to let you find it next year when you can dig your plant out of the soil. Okay? All right. First, we're going to start with hydrangeas because they are larger in leaf and the stems are thicker, and you can really see what we're doing. What we're going to do is I am going to show you where the leaf axil is, and that's where the growth starts for many, many things. It's kind of like a stem cell for human beings that can become almost anything. Well, the nodules in the leaf axils are the same way. They can become leaves, stems, or roots. So this is a branch that I have just plucked, and I'm going to show you leaf axils right in here, and that's all new growth between the leaf axils. Okay? Now when you take a stem, you will see these tiny little things, but even they have started to leaf out. So I'm going to take another branch and show you what it's like to look at and what you want to see. Can you see it right in here? Or actually, here is better. Right in there. Can you see that little tiny thing? That is an axillary node. Axillary, axilla, it's like armpit. So it's kind of the armpit of the plant. So we will take this right here is the leaf axillary node. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip these two leaves off, and then I'm going to scratch the surface right here, right on the side. And then what we will do is we will put that next to the ground. We'll scratch a little soil from underneath, put some soil on top, and then we'll put a stone on top of that for the weight, and also so you know where it is when the plant is formed, because the roots will come out from these axillary nodes and root wherever you put them. Shall we go and do that? Here we are. I've chosen this because it's very low. Always go for low-hanging fruit, because why stress yourself out and break the branch instead of making a new plant? So I'm going to take these leaves off, and you can see the leaf nodes, I think, a little bit better here. Can you show them? Okay. Then I'm going to scrape away the mulch. Get this. Scrape it away. Then make sure you have good solid contact with the ground. So what I'm going to do, okay, see, I'm making contact here. And what I'm going to do is put a hairpin right there. Whoops, it happens. And right here. Okay, then I'm going to take some soil and put it on top, just like that. And then I'm going to take this rock and put it right on top here for weight and for contact. Now, in the spring, when this plant is rooted, what you will do is cut it right here, and that will detach it from the plant. But in the meantime, the main solid plant is giving this whole area nutrition. So it never has to depend just on its own. And that's how you make a new plant. This plant I got from my neighbor. He gave me permission. I really liked his hydrangea plant, and so I did that, and I did this cuttings, and I also did what we did back there for the hydrangea. And so this is another plant. It's a few years old, but this is proof that it really works. And these 3 hydrangea plants over here I also made from babies. These were babies at one time. And so we're making another hydrangea plant out of one of these babies that I made before. Go. Hi, now we're back in my backwoods. And this is an azalea, a deciduous azalea. And I brought this 20 years ago from my home garden outside of Philadelphia. Now, I made this plant and several others, and I brought them down and put them in the woods so that I would have some color and it would be nice. And these are a lavender color and they're gorgeous. So I'm going to show you how we do an azalea. We're going to do it slightly differently, but it's the same principle. What we're going to do, there's some green wood here. That's what we want. And there are leaf axils as well. But what you want to do is take that and put it in contact with the ground, just like we did with the hydrangea. And I'll show you. And then we cover it with soil, use the hairpins to make sure that the stem adheres to the ground well, and then cover it with soil, and then something to make sure that it stays that way. Now, I always go for low-hanging fruit. I don't try to get a branch all the way at the top. I try to get a branch that is much lower. This is the biggest plant and has had a lot of lower branches that still have good wood to them. So we're going to do that now, okay? Here we are at my azalea on the ground. Now then, there's some grass here under all these leaves, so I'm not going to put it on there. I'm going to put it where there's no grass. You see, it's very dry and there's lots of tree roots here. So, okay, so we're going to start here where the branch branches out. And what I'm going to do is I scraped it, and then I will scrape this a little bit again. And then I put my hairpins in. Okay. And then it's very hard to get any soil from here, but I'm going to try. So you can see there are lots of tree roots. It is really the backwoods here. Okay, we've got that to cover. And then I'm going to take this, which is a potfoot. And this is not what it was made for, but it serves very well. It's heavy and it's flat. So you put that right on top, and that way I'll be able to find it in the spring. I'm going to do this over here because this seems to have a lot more life to it. It's also low-hanging fruit. And I'm just going to bend this back It seems to want to go this way. Actually, I think I'll do this one right here. Put that here, scrape it, and then put it down, and put it down. Get some soil. Put it on top if it will go. Now you can probably have some potting soil or something else that you might want to put on here if you can't get it up, like I can't get it up, the soil up. So you just put it on top, okay? And we'll put these stones right on top. And I may come back later and put something heavier on it, like another pot foot. But that's how you do it. And then the same thing, after you have a plant, you cut it here, you cut it here. After the plant has given it all its nutrients that it needs to become its own little plant, its baby, then you can cut and you take it and put it wherever you want in your garden. So this is how I make my babies, my plants, and it gives me a great deal of satisfaction when I come out in the spring and I see some leaf growth on the end and I can cut that main stem and I have more plants for my garden, for my friends. Thank you.